So I want to kind of explain some things that's going on in Destiny 2 with the whole armor tier system and all that jazz. Why you can't get to tier 5, why I don't know, some people think mythic is hard for some reason. They're getting punished. They're adding in a bunch of these modifiers and boons and all that. So let's just go over the example. That's why I got the game up in the background. That's why I got my camera sitting right here in the middle. So let's go over some things. So if we look at the artifact, and the artifact tells you about the new gear bonuses, the damage resistance, what you put on changes, what's what, right? So the new Destiny model was supposed to be like build how you want to build, play how you want to play, or whatever. I do not remember him saying that. I do not remember him saying that, and um, I just let's just explain this. I'm not trying to re-record this video 15 times. So the new damage resistant bonus, you get 4 out of 5. It goes up to 15%. It goes up to 15%. So how do you get that? That's a good question. How do you get up to the 15%? Some people may know this, some people may not. So that's why I have the visual examples here for that. Now stick with me because I'm gonna go a little bit slower than what I usually would go because I need to show you. So damage resist goes up to 15% tier bonus wise. So if I look at my character, I have on some new gear. I don't have on the new gear on the headpiece for a reason. This is for example purposes of showing you all this. So we have damage resistance 4 out of 5. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see the 4 pieces, the 5. If I had on a new piece of gear, I get a little damage. I get a little bit of a bonus. So I put on another piece of gear. All right, so I get 6%. So, but it's supposed to go up to 15%. So hopefully you guys are tracking. Why? In one of my videos, I'm probably gonna put this one out before the next video jumps out that I go over that I talk about some things. But why am I only sitting at 6%? I'm only sitting at 6% because the tier bonus, right? If you already know this, but the tier bonus goes off of the tiers that the armor is, right? Makes sense. But they're not 1-to-1. It doesn't seem to be 1-to-1, right? So if it's supposed to be 1-to-1, we're lacking. That's the Bungie's lacking, right? So not here to say that the new system's great, but I'm here just to explain it. So I have on a tier 3, a tier 2, a tier 2, tier 2, right? If it was 1-to-1, then the tier 3 should give me 9% or 9.0%, yeah. And it would just give me more, right? Per every tier I should get more. But it seems like it's giving me less than that. It's giving me less than that. Because if we were 1-to-1, I would be sitting at 6 here, 9 here, 6 here, 3 here. That's what a 1-to-1 was supposed to be. So if I use a focused exotic that is supposed to be for that season, we'll do it with a tier 3 first. I equip a tier 3, right? It puts me at 7.2%. All right, so it may have went too fast for you. What was I at before? So I 7.2, 6%, 6.0%. I put on a 3, it gives me the 7.2. Right, so that's a percent 0.2. But if I put on a focus exotic, it gives me a whole 3% 0.4. It gives me a lot. It gives me a lot for some reason, right? So that in one of my other videos, I'm going to say armor is everything. Armor is everything for damage resistance and all that. Weapons are flex. I will probably say this over and over again. Weapons are for flex. Now, you've already probably seen some other videos on that the new gear will associate how your score bonuses are multiplied and all that jazz. That is why there is a Vanguard set specifically, and then there's a PvE set specifically, and then there's this Avion set, and then a Raid set. I do believe we will be getting more armor pieces, and when this is all fleshed out, I think it all makes sense because all your armor, your old armor for the most part, is garbage. That's just the way it is. So we're seeing the increase on armor wise, right? That makes sense. The higher tier armor you get, the more percentages you get towards reaching that 15%. So if the bungo math is mathing the way that they want it to, at all tier 5s and the exotic, that would put me at the 15%. As you can see, the slow climb that the armor is giving you, right? So that only makes sense. So if let's go down to tier 1 so we can see it. Let's go all the way down to tier 1, right? I got all tier 1 armor on. I'm at a 5.4% because that exotic is giving me a whole 3%, 3.4%. And then I go down to tier 1 and bam, I'm at a 3%. So if this tier system is going by the way that it wants to read, if you have a full set, a full new set on, then you're at 3%. That's tier 1. Tier 2 is a full set is at 6%. A full tier 3 is at 9%. Tier 4 is at 12%. And a whole tier 5 set is at 15%. That's for grindy grind. That's grinding out. You can't get that yet. You can get closer, but you can't get that yet. Right? So didn't expect that to happen. So that is what you can expect from the whole tiered armor system, right? So let's go into weapons. We'll go into weapons. So with weapons, it won't work exactly the same. If we put on a tier 1, and another tier 1, we're gonna get 2s. We're gonna get all 2s. So again, if we're gonna read this out the way that they've got it lined out, without no set way of really reading it unless you read in between the lines, then we're gonna get incremental bonuses based off of what we have in that slot, up to 10% per slot. Hopefully that was said slow enough. So let's look at it. We go to tier 2 now. Tier 2, I'm at 4%. It's not doing the same thing as armor. It's doing the same thing as armor, but it's not doing the same thing as armor. Make sense? So if we had a tier 5 energy slot weapon, it's plus 10%. Now, if I go into a tier 4, I am going to be sitting at 8%, like they said. Now, if I had a tier 5, it will be 10%. All right, so we're tracking. We are following along with how that works out. But you may be asking, well, dude, just Mangum, just show me the exotic. Show me what the exotics do, right? I equip an exotic. Puts me at 10. What? Puts me at 10. Oh, so that's my fake surprise. That's my fake surprise. So because I knew this before I did the video, that's why I'm showing you that exotics that are the focus weapons are considered for the game right now tier 5. They're considered tier 5. That's what's making up that gap, that difference in what's going on, right? So you may have been thinking, well, the third iteration was good. Of course it was good. Of course it was good. First off, it was bugged. The first shot always was supposed to do a lot of damage. Bungo said that. And it sits at a tier 5 equivalent of damage, right? So we're tracking. So it was bugged. The first shot always was supposed to do more damage. I don't know what the catalyst does, but it probably does something. I don't know what it does. But it sits at a tier 5. It sits at the pinnacle peak of what it could have done for this season. You know what I mean? So you get a free weapon, and okay. So You may be saying, well, I don't want to do all that. I don't want to do all that. Then I don't know to tell you don't want to play Destiny because that's what they got going. I didn't make the game. I didn't make it. I just play it. But I'm telling you, this is what they're doing. So, what's best for you? What's best for you when it comes to this whole thing? Yes, the tiered weapons are cool. Like I said, they're flex. But if your build is built around some of the things that they got going and then you replace them later, then that's fine, right? Go with the flow. Don't go against the current because you're just going to find it a little bit harder. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have a regular weapon catch up. You're obviously going to lose the bonus, right? You're going to lose the bonus because it's not the focused weapon for the thing. But they do want you to go in here and use these other mods, right? They're called fonts. Am I even in the right section? Well, I barely even use fonts. But I did find this out wherever they're at. I will eventually bump into them. So let's pick up energy stasis weapon. I will find them. They're probably on the legs because that's the last place I'm checking. So collecting an armor charge grants your void weapons a small bonus damage while you have an armor charge, blah, blah, blah. Right? We know what the fonts do. Well, they were fonts. They're not the surges. Maybe they always fonts or these fonts. Anyway, the surge mods. Surge mods work like this. If I equip one, then that's going to give me a plus something damage bonus for it. I don't remember what it was, but it's going to give me a damage bonus. And then if you equip two, then you're going to get another one. That still leaves you a little bit of room for recuperation or better already. I want to say better already is better than recuperation now, but you can lead with this. You can lead with this. You can get yourself a little bit of a bonus. The other ones do have an always active without the armor charge system, right? But if you're decent enough, if you got a decent enough amount, you can make up a little bit of difference with some weapons, leaning into weapons, because weapons give you an increase in damage and handling reload speed. But you're thinking, well, if I use the focus weapons, I'm going to get all that and a bag of chips. Well, I'm telling you, you can't have it all. You want to play the way you want to play, you're going to take a little bit of a hit. Now, this may upset some people that you're going to take that hit, but I'm showing you a way. It ain't the way, but it's a way to get it. See way? Okay, so we have our damage bonuses that we can get based off the tiers of your weapon. Tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what it goes up to. Exotic count is tier 5. That's why they feel so good when you're using the right ones. Now, if you're like, well, I wanted to use arc this season. Well, that ain't focused here. That ain't really in the cards. If you want to use it, you can. But what is happening is that you're going against the grain. You want to do something that ain't really hot right now. They want you to play with Strand, Stasis, and Solar. That's what they want you to do. Now, I think those were bad mods to pick right off the bat because a lot of the enemies we fight are Arc, Void, Shield, with the whole Vex, Minotaur's purple. Then we have Harpies, Arc. Then we have some Hobgoblins that are red. I mean, if you're covering 85% of it, but you're not covering everything, then it's kind of I'm getting lost in the sauce now. But they ain't really focused here. They're not. Can you still perform? That's a good question. It's a good question a lot of people have probably been asked. Can you still perform? You can, but you won't be as good as someone who's all jacked up. Right? That makes sense. If someone else is jacked up, they got Fever and Chill, Frost Renewal going on, Elemental Coalescence. They standing shoulder to shoulder, right? They're using anti-barrier pulses and scouts in third iteration at tier 5 with They can go through a harpy's shield and a hobgoblin recovering, and this. They're all jacked up, but yet you want to go and use Storm. That's You could, I guess. It's unstoppable, but it's not featured, so you're losing out on that. You're working harder and not smarter. Play what the game wants you to play with. Now, if we went into like let's close this out because it's getting a little long. You kind of get what I'm saying with the whole armor system. We'll go into one last thing after I do this rant. So, if you want to play the way that you want to play, then if we were to go on Diablo and we were to play like whatever they're going on with the Horadrim and stuff like that, and you're not using the seasonal artifacts and the things that they got going on, you're gonna be punished for it. It's not gonna be good. You're going to First Ascendant, going to Void Erosion Purge, the one said that's what it's called, and you're not using what the enemy's weak against, the element they're weak against, the type they're weak against. You're not gonna go in there with a Jaber. If y'all know who that is, you're not going in there with a Jaber, you're not crushing it. That's not it. That's not the way, right? You're not going to go into a place unoptimized. You want to go in jacked up. You want to perform at your best, right? Always. For any situation, you want to perform at your best. And without using this stuff, without understanding it, you can't perform at your best. Someone else out there is going to outperform you, right? They're going to be jacked up. They're going to be getting frost armor. They're going to be getting elemental drops. They're going to be wearing a backpack so big it can carry a bus. You don't want to be that bus. You don't want to be a truck, right? So where I work at, they call them trucks, right? The system is laid out. I'm telling you, exotics count for a lot if you're focused into that. If you're focused into that, they work. They're doing a lot of the heavy lifting, right? So put some of the stuff on. Get your 15th tech set. Get you a good Aeon renewal. Get the new Aeon renewal, right? Do some mythic. It's not that hard. It's 200, right? I got some stuff on that's dropping me down, but you can get what I'm saying, right? Get in there. Get to 200. You go in there, do a mythic. Randos, blueberries. I mean, y'all working as a good team with a decent build, understanding the systems, fine. If I want to go in here with the next Dearest, then I need to go into some font mods, maybe. Some that's down here at the legs. I need to go into some font mods. Now, can it still work? Of course. Of course it could still work. But these two other things maybe need to be like good. They need to be good. They need to be good enough to carry the weapon that you want to kind of play with versus what you need to play with. Now, what do we need to play with real quick, right? So what do we need to play with? How do I know what's I don't want to keep looking around. Let's go into the featured gear. Featured gear in the exotic list shows you everything that's hot. That's what's hot right now. That's what's hot in the streets. That's what they're talking about. This is what's doing good damage. You've probably been hit by a Polaris Lance and Crucible. It's doing work. Graviton Lance feels fantastic. Hierarchy of Needs, don't know if it's been fixed. Anyway, I'm getting on a little bit of a thing, but what I'm saying is that you're limited, but you're not scrunched, right? If you want to go in there with what is that exotic? I wanted to say, you want to go in there with Darcy? By all means, you can make it work. If you're a good enough player, you can make anything work, no matter the delta. That's what people say. The delta, the negatives. No matter the delta, you can still go in there. Tractor Cannon still makes them go down by whatever, a negative such and such percent. If everyone else is rocking meta and you're rocking what you want, help the team out. That's fine. That's you can do all that. Now, what armors are featured? Easy enough. Let's go to featured armors. Let's break this down Barney style. We can use this as a template to start making our kit. But then you look in there and you're like, okay, well, they got Blight Ranger. That's Arc. I mean, why they put that up in there? Because you can do what you want to do. They want you to play with it. They want you to try it. You can do what you want to do. Go in there with Blight Ranger. I don't know anyone using Blight Ranger, but you can use it. You can. It's fine. But Oath Keepers goes with Hierarchy of Needs. The Arthur's Embrace goes with Solar Class. Mask of Fealty goes with Stasis. Mask of Bastard goes with Stasis. Dragon Shadow goes with everything. The Chrysiax facade goes with Strand. Lucky Pants goes with hand cannons. You can make Thorn good again. Lucky Pants is putting in work. Speed loader stacks, slacks. They're doing good in Crucible. I think that's what they're for. Again, there are options here. Capri Sting. I don't know anyone using Capri Sting. It's a whole thing. I don't even know why they put that on there like that. Why they doing Capris like that? Should have got a little bit of an update. That's what it should have got. Should have got a little bit of a tweak. But again, you got a lot of general options. I'm looking at a bunch of general options here. If you play the class, you know I'm looking at a bunch of general options here. Renewal Grasp is fantastic. Mask of Fealty. I think some creators have put out builds on infinite shuriken spam. So Mask of Backers makes you feel like a fallen captain, right? You got options here. You got them. It isn't impossible to make a good build. The Gifted Conviction, along with Blight Ranger, some of the arc stuff, if you wanted to go up in there, you're going to get your damage resist from the Gifted Conviction. It's going to make up for it being off season. It's not bad, but it's not synergetic with the artifact for the most part. But you can pick a lot of off branded stuff, make your arc build still work. Right? Arc is still so good, Void is still so good. Everything else needed help. That's why it's featured. Everything else needed help. You may go in with a broken stasis build now and be like, it didn't need no help. It needed all the help. It did. It needs better ways to generate frost armor. That's a whole thing. That's a whole thing. But yeah, now let's go. Let's open up this dreaded thing that everyone don't like looking at, the portal, right? So I'm doing this with one hand. So let's look at the bonuses. If we go in here, we go to the bonuses, review the contents. It's going to tell you that your score gets better when you have new gear, you're equipped new gear. So go in here with your new gear, get the challenge, get the reward multiplier up. Right now it's at a 3.6, right? So let's see. I'm running all this. I have this. I equip that, put that on, go back, look at the portal. Right? Puts me up a little bit. Puts me up a little bit. Does it put me up a lot of bit? No, but it puts me up a little bit. My reward multiplier went up by a little bit. It's fine. You can run some off meta things. You are kind of supposed to just like play the game and because everything ain't out yet, kind of be soft reset. Everything's not out yet. You're not gonna go balls to the wall, and you're not gonna get a hard carry from a lot of people because a lot of people that were playing the game ain't playing the game no more. And some people who are playing the game are probably doing solo ops because that's like the fastest thing you can do to get your gear up. But anyway, if you need a more scripted, broken down look at with edits and cuts and clips, then I could do that. Leave it in the comment section. I'll do that. If you don't ask for it, I'm not going to do it because I think this is a good explanation on how this is all working in your favor and in your negative, right? So you're not going to go into your older armor sets because we should already have felt this difference. You're not going to go into your older armor sets and pull out this armor that you're like, oh man, I like that. It's not going to do you no good. Not like it used to. We already know this. Maybe an artifice piece would do something that okay, but not something this old plain Jane bust it down last Destiny 2's last expansions type of deal. No. It's not doing it no more. Right? It's not hot. It's not hot no more. What's hot? Aeon. Aeon's hot. Texet's hot. Last Disciple's hot. Raid Gear's hot. Focus Gear's hot. You get what I'm saying. Now that you understand how you can use this to your benefit and how this will affect you, start looking at what you can build versus what you can't build. because there's a lot you can't build now. But with Arms Week, Iron Banner, and whatever new updates to come, whatever comes out. Yes, you may be like, well, this thing sunsets in like 6 to 5 months. What we don't know if Bungie's gonna keep these blue dots on the armor stuff, on the blue little squares on the armor. They may switch it out for the weapons because they may not be featured no more. Who knows? I know these are focused, but these are new, so that's different. These are featured. These are new. So when will they consider it not new anymore? You don't know. You don't know when they're going to consider them not new, because it'd be weird to force them out when they're literally Kepler's like pride and joy to get at tier 5, to like really phase them out like that, especially that soon. Featured may get phased out, switched around. Cool, switch your build. But the base legendary armor, I can't see that going away to that extent so fast. But the feature stuff will probably get changed, without a doubt. So focus on that. Focus on getting a full set of some tier. Get your bonus. Use your most powerful stuff. Get your reward multiplier. Use the featured exotics. They give you big bonuses. Use a good exotic. This has always been good. Use a good exotic. Get your damage up. Tinker around with the new stuff, but if you don't want to, make up for it with fonts. Make up for it with an exotic synergy. Make up for it with the artifact. Make up for it with a good build. Right? Make up for it in weapons. What you lack in damage, make up for it in weapons. But you don't want to focus weapons though. You want to focus in bulwark for some reason. In health. You want to wear a full bulwark set and have a high recovery, but you don't want to do no damage. But you don't want to have superficial damage. You get what I'm saying? You can't. You're not gonna have it all. Something's got to sacrifice. Something's got to give. Pick a lane. Use what's hot. Or just go prismatic and try to use it all. The choice is yours. You can either do this the easy way or the hard way. So get in where you fit in. Like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one.